Hi guys, this video is to show you how to write your rhetorical analysis for the ethical appeals for JFK. So your instructions say write 2 paragraphs that discuss the way King uses ethical appeals to influence his audience. So I just want to get you started. So you should have 2 things. You should have a piece of paper to do your planning, and you should have this little template thing. Yours is on yellow paper. You can use the template. Remember, the template works for you. You don't work for the template. So if you need to change something on it, feel free to. So this says 2 paragraphs. That means you're going to write 2 of these. Will your paragraphs look very similar because you're using the template? Yes, they will. This is really the first time we've done this year, so that's okay. It's important to me, though, that you're getting the idea. So in order to write a rhetorical analysis, you need to have L2s, you need to have L1s, and you need to have your commentary, which is the purpose. So go ahead and, if you haven't already, make yourself a little chart. If you've already done this, you're welcome to skip ahead. Again, this video works for you. You don't work for this video. So it'll be something like this. And you're going to have to decide what appeals does he use. So you're going to actually need to have your notes. And the notes that I'm talking about are the ones that were on this yellow page right here. So I don't have all the answers, but you need to know the things we looked at. We looked at concession, relevant authorities, allusion, first person plural pronoun, and reasonable non-inflammatory language. So these are the things we want to focus on. So when you're going to write your paragraphs, you can pull out the things we found on this. Pull out the concession, pull out the allusion, pull out the first person plural pronouns. Those are the things that are going to go in the L1. So I'm going to go with first person plural pronouns, and I'm going to write an example of where he did that, or if it's all over the place, I'm going to mention that and kind of mention where I saw it showing up. So what I'm going to mention is that he used these first person plural pronouns in this section where he's establishing his credibility. All right, he mixes it actually with his relevant authorities. So he writes, so I can't put that as an L1 in quotes because it's all over the place. So I would write something like this. The use of we in the first paragraph. And then on this L2, I want to talk about how that feels or what I associate with it. So I may have to go back and reread. We have some 85 affiliated organizations. Frequently we share staff. Here in Birmingham asked us to be on call. We readily consented. We lived up to our promise. So when I associate all that I actually associate unity. I associate, let's think, teamwork, I associate agreement, harmony. Guys, I may have to use a thesaurus to find these. That's fine. So the use of we, these are the associations, and the commentary. The commentary, remember, that's the use of all of this L1. This is significant because, or this shows that. It's the purpose. This shows that this shows that it isn't only about Doc himself, MLK, but it's about a lot of people, and it has the support of a lot of people. A lot is 2 words. All right, so that's 1. To write the paragraph, I'm going to need 2. To write 2 of these paragraphs, I'm going to need 4. So you're going to have to get busy and get to work. All right, so I'm also going to do, let me choose a harder one that you might need help with. And if you use my first paragraph as your first paragraph, I'm okay with that. But the second paragraph is going to have to be all yours. So I'm just going to finish 1 paragraph. He uses, let's go with concession. So the concession that he uses is, since you have been influenced by the view which argues against outsiders coming. All right, so he concedes you have been influenced by the view which argues against, one because it's inside, outsiders coming. And I double quote to end it. Okay, so when I associate this concession, guys, do not take it out of context. You're not giving associations necessarily to the idea of not wanting outsiders, but you're also giving associations to the fact that he's conceding. He's recognizing that they have a different view than he does. So when I hear concession, I associate that with fairness. I associate it with justice, equality, which I'm looking at these words thinking in my head, this is going to work out well when I go to write. But then let's also get some associations with that I told you to be careful with. So outsiders coming, that is maybe standoffish, off-putting, unwelcoming. And we'll see where that leads us. I may not use both sides of this, but we'll see where it leads us. That last word says welcoming, unwelcoming. Okay, so the commentary, what does this show? Him using concession, what does that show? This shows that Dr. King is a reasonable man, willing to recognize that the clergymen truly believe in their convictions. He isn't demeaning them by refusing to hear them out. And I'm also thinking, my brain is thinking about how this is also kind of what he feels like they're doing to him, and he's not willing to do it to them. So I'm going to write that. He is avoiding doing to them, or let's say treating them the way they are treating him. All right. Okay. You'll need, so I did one. Again, if you're going to use this for your first paragraph, I'm okay with that. But you'll need to do two more. So you will need to do, I did concession and I did first person plural pronouns. You will want to do either relevant authorities, allusion, or reasonable language. You'll want to do two of them, and you can choose. If you want to stop now and continue doing this while you're thinking about that, do so. I'm going to move on to the paragraph. So this will make one paragraph. Your next two will make your second paragraph. Okay, the instructions on this say do not simply fill in the blanks. You must rewrite the paragraph. It's helpful for you to write on this paper, do so. But when you go to turn it in, rewrite it on paper, notebook paper, as a paragraph. I'm going to do it on here just so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth, and you'll see. So in his blank letter to the clergyman, King blank that, what is his claim? Okay, we know his claim. His claim is that it's very similar to what we've been saying the whole time, that the moral thing, or you can even say the just thing for, I'm going to switch pens so you can read it better, for him to do is to stay in Birmingham and continue fighting. Guys, this is not my final product. That's why I'm abbreviating. If you need to zoom in, zoom in. So King, this verb, I'm going to write King writes, King says, King declares, King asserts. You can get some off this claims. He argues, he contends. Any of that will work. I'm going to put King contends. So in his, and we're doing ethos. So we don't want to necessarily use words like passionate or emotional. We may actually be able to get a word from here. In his, we're going to try, I might change it a letter. In his unifying, I'm not sure if I like that, so I'll put a question mark. I might come back. In his unifying letter to the clergyman, King contends that the just thing for him to do is to stay in Birmingham and continue fighting. King appeals to the clergyman's sense of right and wrong. It's another word for ethics. When he, now I can say when he says, or when he writes, or when he uses, but I'm going to come up with something better than that. So let me go ahead and put what I'm put here. When he, and I'm not going to do these quotes because it's going to go different. When he, I'm going to put employs the use of words like we throughout the first paragraph. And I need a marker verb. Sometimes ing, like words that end in ing, are good for marker verbs. So King appeals to the clergyman's sense of right and wrong when he employs the use of words like we throughout the first paragraph. And it says summarize the quote. So, but that goes with his purpose. Let me see if I summarized it here. This shows that it isn't only about himself, but it's about a lot of people, and it has the support of a lot of people. I didn't quite summarize it, so let me do that. The use of words like we throughout the first paragraph. I'm going to look at my marker verbs, and let's see what I can come up with. I'm going to look at this. I'm looking at this communicating. So I like this word imparts. I'm going to say imparting King appeals to the clergyman's sense of right and wrong when he employs the use of words like we throughout the first paragraph, imparting I'm going to use an L2, harmony that exists between civil rights leaders in order to show, this is where I'm going up to my commentary, that it isn't only about himself, but about many strong people who agree with him. All right, let's look at that first part. So this first part of the paragraph. In his unifying letter to the clergyman, King contends that the moral thing for him to do is to stay in Birmingham and continue fighting. King appeals to the clergyman's sense of right and wrong when he employs the use of words like we throughout the first paragraph, imparting the harmony that exists between civil rights leaders in order to show that it isn't only about himself, but about many strong people who agree with him. That sounds pretty smart. And you're capable of doing this. Okay, I'm going to quickly fill out this next part by myself so you don't have to watch the video, and then I'm going to pause it, and then I'm going to come right back and show you my end video. Okay, that was really fast, but I wanted to put up my final thing for you. You're going to have to zoom in, but I'm going to read it really quick. In his unifying letter to the clergyman, King contends that the just thing for him to do is to stay in Birmingham and continue fighting. King appeals to the clergyman's sense of right and wrong when he employs the use of words like we throughout the first paragraph, imparting the harmony that exists between the civil rights leaders in order to show that it isn't only about himself, but about many strong people who agree with him. He continues to appeal to their trust when he concedes, "You have been influenced by the view which argues against outsiders coming," substantiating the idea that he is a reasonable man willing to recognize that the clergymen truly believe in their convictions. He isn't demeaning them by refusing to hear them out. In fact, he is avoiding treating them the exact way they are treating him. This evidence suggests that there truly is no other decent option than for Dr. King to continue his fight in Birmingham. All of that came from my chart, so you're welcome to go back and look. I just have to stop because my time is up. I'll see you guys in class.